Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful parable about what happens when you hit rock bottom. It's a story that asks a pretty tough question. When you feel like you have nothing left, where does real help actually come from? The answer? Well, it just might surprise you.
Think about it. It's a question we all bump into at some point, right? When things get really tough and our resources are just gone, our first instinct is usually to look to other people for a hand. But is that always the best way to go? This story offers a totally different perspective.
So our story kicks off with a man in a really desperate spot. Financially, things are critical. Seeing their struggle, his wife suggests what seems like the most logical solution in the world. Go ask the prophet for help. Makes sense, right?
He figures, yeah, that's his best option. So he goes to the mosque, he sits down, and he just waits. You can almost feel his nerves, can't you? He's probably running through what he's going to say over and over, just trying to find the perfect words to explain how bad things have gotten. But before he can even get a word out, he overhears the prophet say this: "He who refuses to ask any man for help is made self-sufficient by his creator." Whoa! Those words just stop him dead in his tracks. He feels totally conflicted, so he leaves without saying a thing and goes home. But of course, nothing's changed. So day 2 rolls around, and the situation is just as bleak as before. He musters up his courage again, but this time, he's even more determined. He tells himself, okay, today's the day. I'm going to speak up, I'm going to make my case, and he heads back to the mosque. And you're not going to believe this. Just as he gets there, he hears the exact same message, word for word. Can you imagine how confusing that would be? He's just completely discouraged and heads home once again, totally empty-handed. Okay, now it's the 3rd day. He's depressed, for sure, but he's also resolved. He's thinking, whatever happens, I am not failing today. And this time, he doesn't just hang back in the crowd. No, he goes and sits right next to the prophet, making absolutely sure he'll be heard.
And for the 3rd time, he hears that same advice. But sitting so close, it feels different. It feels less like a general speech and more like a direct message meant just for him. The repetition, that pattern, it finally clicks.
And this is the light bulb moment. He realizes, wait a second, this can't be a coincidence. This advice, it's for me. And that's such a crucial shift, right? He goes from passively waiting for a handout to actively understanding the lesson that's being put right in front of him. And what's that lesson he finally gets? It's self-reliance. It's this core idea of tapping into the powers and the resources you already have inside you, instead of immediately looking to other people to come and fix your problems. And with this realization, something pretty amazing happens. You'd think he'd be disappointed, but instead, the strange sense of relief just washes over him. He gets up, he walks away, and he makes a powerful decision. He will never ask another person for help again. He's taking ownership. He immediately starts thinking, okay, what can I do? And the plan he comes up with is so simple and so actionable. Borrow an axe, go cut wood in the forest, bundle it up, and sell it. That's it. No more waiting, just doing. And you know what? It works. He gets the axe, he does the work, and he goes to the market. And he sells every last piece of wood. For the first time in a long, long time, he holds the fruit of his own labor in his hands. Enough money to take care of his family. Just look at this transformation. It is night and day. He went from being in a critical financial state to becoming a successful tradesman. From hoping for a handout to enjoying the results of his own hard work. He started out having to borrow an axe, and he ended up buying his own. He was no longer depressed and discouraged. He was truly self-sufficient. And over time, his success just kept growing. He became so prosperous, he even had assistants to help him. But, and this is the best part, he never stopped cutting wood himself. Why? Because he had learned something way more valuable than money. He had learned the dignity and the real value of work itself. And the story comes full circle when the prophet visits him later. With his knowing smile, he basically says, "See, didn't I tell you?" He confirms that, yeah, help was always there for the asking, but the greatest help of all came when the man chose not to ask for it, and instead discovered the power he had inside himself all along. And that leaves us with one final question for you. The man in the story had to borrow an axe at first, but the strength to swing it, that was always his. So what axe, what skill, what talent, what resource do you already have right now that you could be using to build a life of your own making?